Hi YouTube, we're less than a week away from the launch of Season 5, and I cannot tell you how many people have asked me for a tier list. Initially, I wasn't going to make one. There have been over 800 augments and 2,800 total nodes added to the game, making it nearly impossible for me to give you an accurate in-game tier list, simply due to the sheer amount of skill combinations that are unknown. Until the bigger masses has a chance to play the game, we really just don't know what crazy things are going to happen in the new season. So for today's video, I have put together a starters tier list only, as some classes do have an easier time leveling than others. Again, this is a starters tier list only, meaning classes that have an easier time leveling from level 1 to 100 and are able to farm Hell 1 and Hell 3 rather efficiently to be able to push into the harder difficulties. Without further ado, let's get into it. First up is D tier. Viking is a pain in the ass to level with. Nothing about it feels good. It does get better later, but I would suggest that you play it as a support in a party. For C tier, we have Butcher. This one's a bit of a rough start. I do recommend that you look for a proc to help with the early bossing. However, it does get decent later on. For Redneck, we have Chainsaw Slash. This is pretty much the only viable leveling skill on Redneck. So if you don't like Chainsaw Slash's AoE clear, then I probably wouldn't play it. For Exo, you could argue that Exo is in B tier. It has a really nice kit. It's just got low damage. In B tier, we have Shaman. Wolves is probably your best leveling option here. They do take some time to ramp up, but you do get a movement speed passive on Shaman, making it quite nice. Stormweaver probably has the fastest clear of any class while you're leveling, and she has a teleport. She just doesn't have any single targets still. Paladin is really fun to play. You have decent AoE, decent single target. You could argue a higher rating. B just felt right to me. For Demon Slayer, both melee and ranged aren't OP, but they aren't bad either. I didn't really play Demon Slayer that much, so I can't argue a higher or lower rating. Plague Doctor freaking sucks for leveling. You're either going to need to farm an early Glimmer Fury to make Surgical Bloodletting do any damage on Gurag, or you're going to use Toxic Flask and absolutely hate yourself. Either way, this shit feels terrible at first, but once you hit the augment for Surgical Bloodletting, it feels so damn good. You get a ton of movement speed from Plague Booster and from Randy the Rat. You can mount him. So like, it does come together, but that initial push is terrible. Just play this in a party and I promise you'll feel way better later. In A tier, we have Necromancer. Necromancer was nerfed across the board. It's still very strong, but it's not overperforming. You're not going to go kill a Hell 5 Anubis just wearing a Valkyrie and a Necro Butchers or something. But Necro now does feel like a Necro when you're playing it. It is a bit slower. You kind of stand behind your minions, let your minions do the work. It feels like a Necro. However, you do get a teleport on Necro for free now. Pyromancer was buffed recently. Scorching Aura feels pretty decent to level with, and Pyro has access to some movement speed buffs that make it really nice. For Pirate, the only thing keeping it out of S tier is it doesn't have a movement skill or any sort of additional movement speed buffs on it, but it has very good damage. For Marauder, the fire tree isn't great, it isn't bad. You can't level with Chain Trap. However, at level 60, the augments for both fire and Chain Trap are really good. For Chain Trap, it's night and day difference, as well as both of these skills scale very well. White Mage is still tanky, it has decent clear. It gets some movement speed buffs, but it still has no single target. Real quick, I am dedicating December to my mom's fight with cancer. All revenue will be going to helping her be as comfortable as possible after her surgery and radiation in January. A donation link will be available in the description. Please only donate if you're able to do so comfortably. And thank you so much to my current contributors. We've already raised $100. Thank you. And finally, our S tier league starters. First is Jotun. His teleport was buffed, he gets additional range, and Oberfrost just slaps to level 100. Demon Spawn has access to just really smooth starter skills, and then once you hit Blood Surge, that thing slaps and has insane AoE. Very, very strong. Even though technically Demon Spawn doesn't have a teleport or a good movement ability, he makes up for that with his AoE. For Illusionist, you have a teleport with a movement speed buff on it, and Age of Proliferation feels really good to use and has a really nice single target. Nomad has insane AoE, a great movement ability and utility, as well as above average single target. For Marksman, Gunner Drone relies less on Master Mechanic to get its attack speed, as the sub skill tree actually gives the Gunner Drone attack speed now. Guys, Shield Lancer, it's not a joke this time. I'm actually being serial with you guys. If you don't believe me, go in the Discord at Nemo and ask him for a detailed report on Shield Lancer. Guys, it's actually fucking good now, okay? For Amazon, you could argue A tier because it does have a bit of a slower start, But man, when you hit that Spear Ninja augment, you're like, it is a night and day difference. For a Samurai, at level 1, being able to use Blade Barrier, just walk around and kill enemies is really nice. You get Empire Slash to be able to move around quickly. And once you get a big weapon, you can switch into either Shuriken Throw or Empire Slash full time. I prefer the Samurito, where you throw out a bunch of Doritos and kill enemies, or you can go the Empire Slash version. Either way, this one's very fast and it's a great league starter. And that's going to wrap up this starter tier list for Hero Siege Season 5. Be sure to check out my leveling guides. I will be posting more of these over the next few days. And hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything Hero Siege. And come check me out live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Graxy_TV. Of course, we will be live on launch day. We're going to be doing a fun subathon for that day, so you don't want to miss out. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.